Welcome back, everybody, to Season 5 of the Mayo Lab podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking to Jessica Hodor, a master's student at the University of Mississippi specializing in special education. She's going to be talking to us about losing her brother in 2024 and the effect that it had on her and her family. Let's get into it. So what was your brother like growing up?
He was very... I don't know how not to offend him. He's a weird kid. He was this. Well, I don't know how you'll take this. He was a lot like you. Similar, I think.
Really?
Really quirky. Like, he had a ukulele because he wanted to learn how to play the ukulele. He stole my piano.
Did he know how to play? Did he learn how to play?
Nope.
No.
That's why I doubt your ability.
Wow.
Anyways, he learned all the flags of every single country.
Wow.
Yeah. Weird.
I was going to say, why?
He just wanted to know.
Cool.
Weird dude. But he was very annoying in the best way. Like, he knew how to get on your nerves. But in a funny way that you couldn't really be... Actually, I was really mad most of the time at him for that. But, like, it was never hurtful. Like, he would always... You knew he cared about you if he would kind of joke around with you.
Yeah.
And make fun of you a little bit.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up with him?
When we were younger, so we're only 22 months apart, so not even 2 years. But he was born in September and I was born in July. So school-wise, we were only a grade apart. So we kind of did everything together. Like, we were going through the same things at the same time because we just were close in age. So when we were younger, he definitely was, like, too cool for his little sister. And I always just wanted to... I was definitely probably the most annoying little sister ever, like, trying to, like, bother him. And, like, I would be sneaky about it, but not at all. Like, I would sneak downstairs and, like, try to join in on the fun, and it just didn't work. And then when we got older to, like, high school, we became more friends. Like, all of our friends... We didn't have the same friends necessarily, but, like, we were all we all hung out with each other. Like, his grades group was the same group as my grades group. Does that make sense? I guess if we looked at clique-wise, like, he hung out with the same people in his grade that I hung out with in my grade. Like, we were in the same clique.
Yeah.
Just like...
You had similar friends.
Yeah. We all had very similar interests.
Yeah.
We just were in different grades. And so we started hanging out more. Still, I think, was the annoying little sister, but he used it to his advantage because he knew that I liked hanging out with him. So he would use me for rides and to bully me. Did I tell you the baby shark story?
Yes, but let's hear it again.
So I know nothing about music. I know you know this. I know everybody that knows me knows it. I had absolutely nothing about music. I suck at it. And Ryan was very into music. And so we were driving home because we also worked at the same place, same restaurant growing up. But we were driving home and he's like, oh, listen to this song. It's really, really, like, good. It's like the newest thing. And it was like a remix of Baby Shark. And I just wanted to, like, be cool in his eyes. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really good. And then it started playing, like, the actual words. And yeah, that was really embarrassing. But he liked to do that a lot to me. That's not the only time that happened. But no, growing up with him, we always had, like, very different relationships with kind of on the outside world. But, like, within our family, my family's very small. We're only there's only 13 of us. 13-ish. Keep adding and subtracting. Anyways, sorry. Sorry. But we're a very small family. My mom has a sister, but she chose not to get married or have kids, so we have no cousins on that side. And then my dad also has a sister, and she is married, and she has 3 kids, but my dad's sister, my aunt, is, I think it's 9 years older. So my youngest cousin that's closest to my age, she is 12 years older than me. So growing up, and we never really had cousins that were our age. I mean, my cousins were great, don't get me wrong. They always, like, played with us, but we just were never in the same, like, stage of life and whatnot. So, like, even at, like, Christmases and everything, it was always just, like, me and Ryan. And especially going on vacation, it was, like, family vacation. It was me and Ryan and then my parents. So inside our family, we were, like, super close. Like, we did everything inside together. Like, when we go on vacations and everything, like, it was us coming up with games and doing everything.
Yeah. Let's go back to the week that you found out what happened. How are you feeling? Yeah.
I actually remember being really annoyed that week because I'm pretty sure we had tried to plan to do something for spring break with our friends, and nothing came together of it. And so I was really annoyed because I wanted to do something for spring break, and I got the crazy idea to drive 13 hours to Florida. And
Make me drive 13 hours.
I didn't make you. I asked you, and I was really surprised that it took literally nothing to convince you. I just literally said, I have this crazy idea.
I love the beach.
Yeah. And you were like, yeah, let's go. So we drove down and we beat my parents there. And we were staying at my granddad's condo.
We beat him by like a day or two, didn't we?
A day. We got there that night and they came in late the next day, I believe. And so we, the next day, went to the beach. And it was really crazy because, do you remember what we found out at the beach?
No.
That's your mom and your stepmom and dad got married.
That's right. Yep. Because they kind of eloped.
Yeah, they called us and to show us, and we thought they got engaged, but they just went and eloped.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Really happy, for them, obviously. And then we went and we picked up my parents from the airport, or they somehow appeared. I don't know, spawned. Back at the condo, and then we went to dinner and everything was great and dandy. And then Grandpa's condo is very small, as you know. We have to sleep on the couch in the living room.
It's a pull-out couch, at least. It's
a pull-out couch. There's some sort of bed, but it's not a small apartment. So we had gone back to the hotel for the night, and my parents were staying in the guest room in the condo with my granddad, and they called you. That's how we knew something was wrong.
Yeah, no, your dad's not calling me on a normal basis.
Yeah,
that's
and
not
so
happening.
They called you to go down, and I knew something was wrong for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what I was thinking, because it was so odd. Like, they called you. I don't know what was going through my brain. But then they came in, and again, like, it's almost like I knew, but I didn't. Like, it wasn't confirmed, but I had, like, the suspicion. Yeah, and then you stayed in the hallway, and then my parents told me, and I cried a lot. And then you finally came in, and I don't even know if anyone told you explicitly what happened. I think you kind of just
I know. I remember when I found out and how I found out.
Which was?
Your dad left the room early.
Oh.
And then he didn't want to tell me. I mean, no one really wants to say it out loud. But yeah, he walked by in the hallway and he was like, "You having a good night or whatever?" Like, he was just trying to he didn't want to just come out and say it. And then I kind of just looked at him because he'd clearly been crying. So I was like, I mean, I guess. And he was like, "Well, Ryan died." And then he walked away. And I felt terrible.
Yeah.
I also kind of knew from that moment because I heard you scream from the hotel room, which wasn't fun either. So yeah, that was how I found out.
Yeah. But yeah, and then after that, you came in, lots of crying, lots of hugs. And then my first reaction, which maybe you have a point when you say that I'm a gossip. I don't know. Because my first reaction was I needed to tell someone who wasn't in the room. Like, that was my thought process. So I wanted to call someone. And my parents were still there. Or my mom was at least still there.
Yeah.
Because I went to call. I think the first person I wanted to call was Tessa.
She was close with your brother, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. I mean, Tessa is more of like a sister than a friend at this point in life. Like, our families are close. I'm close with her family. She's close with my family. Like, she went to North Carolina, Wilmington, and Ryan went to South Carolina. So she would go and visit, like, Ryan, like, without me or my family. Like, she had a relationship outside of us with Ryan.
Yeah.
So I think I wanted to call her first. My mom told me I couldn't. Because, like, she wanted Tessa's mom to tell her. And then I think my next one, then I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, I'm going to call Gabby. And my mom told me no again. I'm like, that was, like, kind of sucked because I wanted to call someone who
knew him. Yeah.
And both Tessa and Gabby, like, I mean, I've known Tessa since I was in 2nd grade. I've known Gabby since I was 2.
Yeah.
So, like, they knew him. But it kind of sucked because since they knew him, my mom wanted it coming from their parents rather than me. Which, very understandable. But in my brain, like, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So then I went to Abby because even though Abby was close with Ryan, we met in high school, so she didn't have the same relationship necessarily with him.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember that phone call. I just know she was on a bachelorette party. Terrible thing I did. I should not have called her.
That's, yeah.
But I needed to call someone, and I called her, and she's like, or she could tell I was not okay, and she's like, what happened? I said, Ryan died, and she's like, what? And I'm like, Ryan died. And then, yeah.
I was going to ask, my next question was, did it feel real or did it feel fake, like, that week for you?
That week?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that question's always, like, hard. And, I mean, I think it's still really hard to this day. Because when I think about it, like, I was on spring break.
Yeah.
Ryan wasn't supposed to be there, you know? And when I'm here in Oxford, like, Ryan's not supposed to be here. So, like, it's not that it doesn't feel real, but it's just not as noticeable to me, if that makes sense, because why would he be here? Like, I mean, we texted every once in a while and whatnot, but we weren't, like, I wasn't calling him up every week or anything like that, so
yeah,
it's not super noticeable to me when I'm here.
Yeah.
I guess. Or when I was there, like, I knew he wasn't supposed to be on the trip, so, like, I guess, I don't think it didn't feel real. Like, I understood what was happening. I mean, I had dealt with losing 3 of my grandparents at a young age. So, like, I knew what death was. I knew what it meant. I knew, like, obviously he wasn't coming back. Obviously, I saw my parents going through it, but
you don't really feel the effects until you're in a place where he should be as well.
Yeah.
Like when you're back home.
Yeah. But, and then that's where it gets tricky because we're kind of at the age, especially he was supposed to be graduating, that he really, like, probably wasn't going to be back home. Like, not that much. I mean, obviously the holidays and stuff, that's probably the hardest where it's most noticeable because he would be there for those. But, like, just, like, summer break, like, it's, we were at the age where, like, not him not being there ever was coming, but, like, the fact that, like, both of us were going to kind of go our own ways and do our own things outside of being at home. So it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not as noticeable.
Okay, so my next question for you is actually going to be, I'm going to bring up your terrible sense of humor about the situation. You and your mom occasionally as well make jokes that I cannot laugh at. I can't.
Yeah.
But were there times when you guys felt guilty for it, or did it always, like, kind of come out as an aid into how you were feeling?
I've never personally felt guilty for saying those things. Well, because also, like, it's my brother's humor. Like, if it were the other way around, like, I'm sure he would be making the same jokes, or if he were here laughing at my jokes. And I never felt guilty for it because it's, like, it's your own way of dealing with things. Like, if you can find humor in something so dark and terrible, like, then I think, honestly, like, good for you. Like, that you're finding the positive in something so negative. I do, however, I do feel guilty when it makes other people uncomfortable because, obviously, like, a lot of people who I make jokes to don't know how to react. And it makes them uncomfortable, and I don't want to make anyone else feel uncomfortable with them, but I would never say I feel necessarily guilty for thinking or saying them.
Yeah. So after we found out, that was day 2 of our trip.
Yes.
So day 1 of your parents' trip.
Yes.
We stayed the entire week. So I got a question kind of about this is more of a hypothetical, or not even hypothetical, this is more of an opinion, but do you think that staying kind of felt like either protection for you and your family, or denial of some sort, or what do you think the reason behind staying the rest of the week was?
Kind of like I said before, I don't think it was denial because, again, like, whether we went home or we stayed there, Ryan wasn't going to be there either. Like, no matter what, like, where we would have gone, like, there's no, like, Ryan was back at school. Like, it was after his spring break. Like, he would have been in school. So we would have been seeing him anyways. So I don't think it's denial, like, not going home. Like, yeah, I would say it was protection. I don't like the word protection because, like, we weren't protecting ourselves. Like, nothing was going to come from it. We were still getting the, like, messages of people, like, I'm sorry, whatever, and that, and, like, even when we went back home, people were offering, sent us flowers, meals, whatnot, which was super sweet, super appreciated, obviously, but, so I wouldn't say we were protecting ourselves from anything. I think it was just a time that staying in Florida allowed us to just be together. Basically, I mean, we were in practically a retirement home, so no one really knew us. No one knew what was going on with us, so it was kind of a way for us to all be together and process it for a week before entering into a world with everyone that knew him. And, like, I think the reason that you could say we were protecting ourselves from that, it's not because anything bad would come from it, but he was so loved and he affected so many people's lives that And selfishly for, like, at least me, I can't speak on my parents' feelings. It's kind of hard for me to be around people who are upset and, like, grieving as well about him, because in my world, my head, like, but he wasn't your brother. Like, that's always where I go back to. Like, yeah, you went to high school with him, but he would, like, which isn't fair. Like, it's not. It's everyone deserves, like, to have their grief, and I know that. So, like, going back home, I think, opened up us to having to be around people who were also going through the grief, which is just a lot, because it's really hard to be there for people when you're feeling 10 times worse almost.
Yeah.
So I think staying for a week, yeah, it was kind of protection. I mean, we got to be by ourselves and deal with it for a week by ourselves.
Yeah.
And kind of take it in without all of the outside noise.
Yeah. It's a good answer. Yeah. What was it like when you went back home?
Nothing for me really changed going back home. I'm sure my parents had a different experience because, so this happened at the beginning of spring break, and I stayed longer than you did, so.
Yeah, because I left. Carol, my stepmom, flew in and
drove back with you.
Yeah, even though did we switch? We probably switched somewhere on the car ride. I don't want to claim that I drove the entire way back, but, like, it would have been the same. I do appreciate the gesture, though. She was very sweet for.
She did it because my parents asked her to. Well, not asked her directly. They didn't ask her to buy a plane ticket by any means, but they didn't want her. They didn't want you driving home.
Oh.
By yourself.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was, like,
clue.
a big thing. They said they didn't want, like, I think my parents, they were trying to figure it out. They're like, we don't feel comfortable. Like, we don't want to send him driving home by himself. And so that's why Carol was like, I'll buy a plane ticket and come.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I retract my statement. Still sweet of Carol to fly out.
Yes, of course.
But yes, I left before you did. I think I left on Friday or something. You stayed the weekend.
No, you stayed till Sunday.
Oh, I thought it.
Because we were supposed to go home on, I think, like, the Friday. We were only supposed to be there for 5 days, and you stayed with us as long as you could until school would start.
Yeah.
And then I think I stayed, like, at least 3 more days. I was probably there for, like, a week and a half at least. When I came back, most of my friends were back at school, so no one was home. So for me, I think I saw my family. I stayed through Easter. So I saw my family a couple of times. I think the first person that I saw was Sam, my cousin.
Yeah.
Because she offered to do my hair for me. And so we went, me and my mom went to Chicago and we saw her. And it was, like, I mean, obviously there's just that first awkwardness of whatnot. Like, I'm so sorry for your loss and whatnot. But after that, with my family, it was kind of just, like, not back to normal, but we got on with our days. Same with Easter when we saw them. Like, we just went on with our holiday and whatnot. Friends, I didn't see many of my friends until later. And family friends, I think the only family friends I saw were when I went home was maybe the Hubers, but Kyle wasn't there. I think Kyle, which is Ryan's best friend, wasn't there. I think he was back at school, which I think he would have been probably the hardest to see. Because I knew if, like, anyone was feeling anything similar to, like, our family, like, in my brain, it was going to be him.
Yeah.
But we saw the Bentons and the Stucks, our family friends. March Madness. We went to a restaurant and watched March Madness. And it was, like, it was normal, except for that first little hump, you know, like that first little.
Yeah.
They don't really know what to say too, because like especially after that time we had already been gone for a week and a half, so we already got the I'm so sorry, like I'm so sorry, and like I heard, so we got all of that acknowledgement. So it almost made it even more awkward, because like obviously we knew they were already, like they already expressed that to us, so it's like, what do we do? I remember the two Stack boys, our neighbors, one came, and he was not even a year older than Ryan. I think not even a year older, maybe 1 year exactly older. And then his brother, who was maybe 2 years younger than me, came to the restaurant. And they weren't going to come at first because they found out that me and my parents were going to be there. And they're like, they didn't know what to do. Like, they didn't know if it would be okay if they came. Which kind of sucked. Like, they came. They ended up coming in and worked out. But it kind of, like, sucked that people were feeling that way, because we're always, like, especially where we grew up, it's always just been, like, everyone's welcome, the more the merrier. So
yeah, very community oriented.
Yeah, so the fact that people were feeling, like, awkward to be around us, that, like, obviously, like, wasn't a great feeling. I understood it, but it wasn't, like, the most ideal feeling.
Yeah, I understand. So how has grief for you changed from that first month to now?
I mean, obviously, it's a big switch up. We're about 2 years since everything. I would say for me personally, it's obviously those first, like, few weeks were, like, really, really hard. Even the first, like, year, there were a lot of, like, obviously, like, his first birthday and what was supposed to be his graduation date, and then the following May my graduation, and all of those things were big and really hard. I would say, like, I don't feel, whenever I'm grieving now, it's more really sudden and really random. Obviously there's still certain days, like Christmas will always be one. My birthday is always one that is just really hard for me. But on the day-to-day, if I have a moment of being sad about it, it's kind of just, like, unprompted, whether it's just, like, a picture or just, like, a random thought that pops in my head. So it's not as consistent anymore. It's kind of random. I still get sad about it, obviously, but I also have tried to look at the not bright side of things with it, but just, like,
to be optimistic.
Yeah, like, being optimistic about it and trying to just, like, make sure he's present in my life consistently, so it's not like he's completely vanished.
Yeah. You mentioned hard times and hard days and how they still happen. What does a hard day look like for you? And, like, what's kind of going through your mind?
Again, there's a few days out of the year that I would say are really, like, hard days, but more of the time it's just, like, moments. Like, it doesn't really affect me now for an entire day, and I think that just might be me speaking. Like, I can't speak for my parents.
Yeah.
But also, like, kind of just going back to the fact that, like, my life here is so different from any life that my brother was ever a part of.
Yeah.
That I think it's almost easy. Like, not that I'm necessarily purposely trying to avoid my grief, but I think it's easier for me to kind of move past it, because there's not a world that Ryan would have been here right now and would be consistently every single day in my life.
Yeah.
Whereas if I moved back home, it probably would be a little bit harder. So I think, especially being in Oxford, I don't really have super hard days. the hard days are holidays, and my birthday has become one.
Yeah.
And I would say I don't even, and I'm not sure if you've picked up on this, I don't even like process that I'm having a hard day because of that. I'm just like super agitated almost. Like I pick fights.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually at the end of the day, I finally like admit to myself and to like say we're you, like that's what is upsetting me. But I don't even think I process fully like that's what's happening. But like even his birthday, like I think you and me had an argument, and it was because of that. Like I was just upset, but it didn't process in my brain. I think
it's hard to pinpoint like that you're upset about that. You just think you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate those fights because I can't win. It's like not possible.
You can't.
Yeah. So my next question is actually about how you view relationships now. Do you think this has changed kind of how you view safety and control in a relationship? I have an answer as well for you.
How it changed our relationship specifically?
Not ours specifically, just general,
Okay.
like how you view relationships and safety in them.
Okay, so...
Or concern. How often are you concerned now versus back before?
I already know what you're going to say. Anyways, I think... I really wouldn't say my, like, friendship relationships and safety and concern has really changed. Like, I wouldn't. I've always, and I've said this to almost everyone, like, once I truly, deeply care about someone, like, if we're in a phone call or, like, you're leaving my house, like, I'll always say I love you. I'm that rooted from, actually, my grandma passing away when, I believe I was in 6th or 7th grade when she passed away, and she was in Florida, at her and my grandpa's condo when she passed away. So I didn't get to say goodbye, and I couldn't remember my last phone call with her. I couldn't remember if my last words to her were I love you. And that always bugged me. So from then on, I always made it a point, like if I care about someone, I don't care if we're fighting, I don't care if I'm mad at you, I'll always make sure to the best of my ability to end every single interaction with I love you. So I confidently can say if something were to happen to that person, I know that they knew that, and I know that I said that.
Yeah.
So I think friendship wise, definitely it hasn't really changed. I can't control my friends. I can't make them safer unless they want to be. My parents wise, I really want them to be safe, but again, I can't control them. Relationship wise, boyfriend wise, I definitely have a bigger concern for your safety. Not because you're necessarily unsafe before, but I just like, when everything happened with Ryan, like, you were my rock. Both right when it happened and from, like, that day forward, like, you were the one person I could go to. You were the one person I could tell anything to. And I can't lose that person. So, I need you to start buckling up and promise you're being safe.
Because I've always buckled up. I admit to nothing.
But I definitely, I've changed. And it's not more, I don't think in my brain, like, I think anyone, obviously, I don't think you or my parents or my friends are being unsafe. It's more of an anxiety for me where I'm anxious that I'm going to lose another person that I really care about.
Yeah. You think if it happened once, it can happen again. And
yeah.
Yeah. I understand that. Do you think that your relationship with your parents has changed any? Not in terms of safety, but just in general.
I wouldn't say... Sorry. I don't think our relationship necessarily has changed. Yeah, So me and my mom, we always were really close, and like I think I would.
Yeah.
What?
You guys are very close. You talk to her way more than I talk to anybody.
Yeah. So I definitely like I don't. Let me just restart. Okay. I don't think our relationships have changed. I think that there's certain things in our family dynamic that have changed, but not with my individual relationships with my parents. Obviously, even going back to the safety thing, they're as concerned about my safety as I am theirs now. Like, they are
You're on the same page.
I'm bubble wrapped is what my mom would say.
She did say to me.
Yeah. And I mean, this is probably really insensitive. Obviously, I'm their only child now, so kind of more attention is focused on me. Like, I'm not, like, it's just me. Like, I'm getting all the attention from them. But I wouldn't say our relationship has changed, because me and my mom are still obviously super uber close. Me and my dad are still as close as we were. We still have our little cooking thing we like going on, and I annoy him within the first 5 seconds of walking through the door, talking, but
I think everyone does that.
Yeah, but that's okay. But I would say no, they didn't change. With my dad particularly, I feel almost guilty because I know what he lost. Like, him and my brother would always constantly talk about sports and stuff, and I can't provide that for him. Like, because in our family, like, I was close with my mom, my brother was close with my dad. Not saying we weren't close with the other parent, but it just kind of was how it worked.
Yeah.
And so I know my dad, like, lost his person in the family, and I try my best. I literally will text him something about sports, and he'll be like, I knew that 5 days ago. And I'm like, okay, well, it just popped up on my Google. I'm sorry. So I feel guilty almost about that, but I wouldn't say our actual relationship has changed because it stayed the same.
Yeah.
But I do think our family dynamic has changed a lot.
Yeah. I actually have a question. It kind of goes along with that, like with the family dynamic changing a little bit. But I know your answer. I don't know why I'm framing it like this, but how was the differences in grieving? Like, because I was going to say, did you grieve differently? I know you did. Yeah, so obviously it's very different. I would say out of the three of us, me and my dad were the most similar. We're more not wanting to talk about it. I know that talking about it, like, no one I talk to about everything, they're not going to fix it. They're not going to solve it. Nothing they can say can make it feel better. So, like, I don't see a point in, like, doing that. I don't want people to feel pity for me. Yeah.
And I don't know why my dad doesn't like talking about it, but I am his daughter, so maybe similar thought processes. But my mom is the opposite. She loves to talk about it. Even if it makes her sad, she just, like, loves hearing about him and making sure he's still included.
Yeah.
So definitely different, and it's definitely hard because it's, we're all going through, from an outside perspective, we're all going through the same thing, but, like, in reality, we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents lost their son, and I lost my brother, which we're grieving the same person, but to ourselves, it's a completely different person. Like, Ryan, to me, was a completely different person than what my dad saw and then what my mom saw.
Yeah.
So it's hard because we do all grieve differently, but it morally sucks because you can't people that I'm grieving with, my parents, are supposed to technically be the ones who are there for me. Like, when I'm going through a loss, like, it's supposed to be my parents that are, like, the ones helping me through my grief. And they can't really do that because they're going through their own.
Yeah.
Which is okay. It's just kind of been a learning curve of having to figure out, like, what conversations we can have, ones that don't go over too well, and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah. I gotcha. So my next question for you is going to give you a little outlet to talk about the bar crawl. But I was going to ask you, have you done anything to kind of help everyone stay united, like, and remember?
Yeah. Yeah, we have done a lot. The first thing we did, we never had a proper funeral. It was just too hard to have, like, an actual funeral. So we had a memorial, but it wasn't until June. So it was way after the fact. And from that memorial, kind of just, like, sparked a lot of ideas for my family in, like, small little daily life things. We kind of have adopted the number 22. That was his basketball number, which ironically was also my dad's basketball number. So that was his basketball number. He played basketball growing up. So we kind of took 22 and ran with it. So memories just even like this. I have my bracelets that have his initials, his number on it. Pictures. That's at least what I like to do. I know some people don't like pictures, but I keep picture up. And just things like that in the daily, but then kind of bigger things, whereas my parents started a foundation in his honor, which we do a lot with it. They started fundraising money, and we were able to give out scholarships to kids who are going through similar experiences that we are experiencing right now. And we're able to donate to animal shelters because Ryan loved animals. And we're also have started doing can I talk about the bar crawl?
If you want, yeah.
Oh. So we started a bar crawl. This will be the second annual one this year in June. Because what we wanted to do, if we were going to do anything in memory for him, we want it to be something he enjoyed. And that's something I think we have really tried to respect. Like, we're not trying to do something that Ryan would, like, make fun of or hate having to go to. So it ended up being a bar crawl in our downtown area back at home with all of his friends and family. And it was really cool because, again, it's something he would have enjoyed to do, so it makes it more enjoyable being there, because it's not really sad, like, because he wouldn't want it to be sad. So that was super fun, and they're starting to consistently do that. But again, it's only been 2 years, and I don't even know if the foundation's been up for that long, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I had a good time last year.
It was fun.
It was a good time, and I got to meet a lot of new people.
I know. I'm scared for this one this year.
Why?
One, there's more games.
Oh, like the challenge card things that we had, like that kind of stuff?
No, like the games that got you dressing up in costumes and things. Miss Huber's the director of that, but also we have to wake up at 5 a.m. the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
Or not wake up at 5 a.m. We have to be on a plane at 5 a.m. the next morning. We're not going to sleep.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. Okay, so my last question for you is, if someone right now lost someone suddenly that they were very close to, what would you tell them?
probably tell them, and I know for a fact they're not going to want to hear it because it sucks. I did not want to hear it when I got told it, but that everything is going to work out. Not that everything's going to be okay, because it's not. Like, it will never be okay in the reality of things, but you're going to get through it, and there's going to be a time where it's not pushing down on you consistently. And just trying to remember that everything happens for a reason, which I think is a tough pill to swallow for many. It was for me, but it truly is what kind of got me through it, is remembering that there's a reason that this happened, and we're never going to know why. We're never going to know why he was taken from us, or why that had to happen, but it did, and we can't spend the rest of our lives figuring out the why. We just have to kind of move on from it. Still remember the people we love, still try to honor them the best way we know how, but also try to make a life for ourselves, because the people that we love so much would want us to do that. They wouldn't want us to sit back and waste away our days missing them.
Yeah, that was a good answer. Well, thank you very much for talking about that with me.
Of course.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mayo Lab podcast. To listen to more, check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Amazon Music. For video versions of each episode, you can find us on YouTube. Until next time, keep the conversation going.